Howdy, my name is Jules Garcia. My Biofuel project will be on biodiesel. This will be the table of contents for today. So biodiesel is a renewable and environmentally friendly type of fuel, which is made from vegetable oil, animal fats, and recycled cooking oil. And this biofuel is usually a substitute for the diesel fuel that is used in vehicles and machinery. How this biofuel is made is that it goes through this process of transcertification, which uses organic materials such as vegetable oils, animal fats, and recycled cooking oils. And using these oils and fats, it is then converted into a fatty acid by being mixed with alcohol, which is kind of similar to the fermentation of it, and goes through a catalyst reaction, which then causes a chemical reaction. Once this whole process occurs, it then goes through another process to refine it and purify it in order to be converted into the biodiesel. Researches and development of biodiesel. They're trying to find new ways to use algae in order to make the biodiesel, since it is grown in wastewater and other non-arable lands, and there's a lot of it, as well as improving the production. So they're trying to find a more efficient way to use the process of transcertification, as well as finding a new catalyst that is less expensive and more environmentally friendly. Also, reducing environmental impacts, and this can happen through better land management practices and using the algae. Also, to improve the performance, so by blending it with regular diesel, that can provide better performance and reduce the emissions. And finding new ways to use the biodiesel, so it can, for instance, generating power and heating fuel. The impact of the carbon footprint. A major contributor to the greenhouse emissions would be that the biodiesel can potentially reduce the carbon footprint of transportation sector. A study from the U.S. Department of Energy has found that biodiesel produced from soybean can actually lower carbon dioxide emission to up to 74% compared to just regular traditional diesel. Positive environmental impacts. One of the environmental impacts is that it increased agriculture, since you need to grow the soybeans and all that, so it can increase the cost of it. And also reduce the dependence of foreign oil, so we don't have to depend on other outside sources, as well as reduce carbon emissions, so it can help reduce the negative impact of climate change. And biodiesel can also create more job opportunities, such as manufacturing and distribution, as well as increase energy security, so whenever we go through a drought, we don't have to just rely on one type of oil or fuel. And with positive, also comes negative impacts. So one of the negatives would be land use and food prices will increase, and there would be limited availability, such as land. And lastly, the production would go higher, so the cost would increase. Efforts to communicate the biodiesel to the public. So currently, the goal is to increase awareness and understanding of biodiesel. So there is public awareness campaigns such as government agencies, nonprofit organizations, and industry groups, as well as educational programs to educate people about renewable energy and sustainable practices. And lastly, government policies and incentives such as tax credits, grants, and subsidies. Lastly, my plan, if money wasn't a problem, would be called Regulate to Educate. So I would educate people about the awareness and the benefits of biodiesel, and to encourage to use it, as well as promote supportive policies and regulations at local, state, and federal levels, and to create mandates to use biodiesel in government fleets. And lastly, the requirements of mixing biodiesel with petroleum diesel. And that will conclude my presentation. Thank you.